Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt here. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but now you can. So, hey guys, what's up? It's Matt here today, going to do a commentary on, if you guys don't already see the screen, it's going to be The Blob. 1988 film directed by Chuck Russell, written by Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont. And I just saw this movie about 2 weeks ago. I've seen it a total of 3 times in this 2 week period. I saw it once by myself. So basically, I'll tell you a little story of my adventure with the Blob from 1988. Pretty much a reviewer, Rambo Rat for life. He pretty much kept talking about this film. He kept talking about this film. He kept praising this film. He loved this movie. And so it came to a point where I said, okay, I've seen a lot of horror movies. I mean, I've seen ton. I've seen The Exorcist. I've seen the Scream films. I've seen the Friday the 13th films, the Halloween films. I even seen films that aren't really huge classics. I've seen like The Faculty and the what's it called, The Burning. I've seen so many horror films. Let me see, Army of Darkness, the Evil Dead films, the Halloween movies, The Fog, The Thing. Just tons of movies. Aliens, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. Just I've seen tons of horror movies, and a lot of them came from people on YouTube reviewing them, and so I trusted his judgment, and so he kept talking about this movie, The Blob. He's like, "Oh, The Blob, it's so good, it's so good." I mean, and so these last couple of weeks, I've seen two of what is called the Holy Trilogy of horror remakes. Um, Pretty much, if you don't know what the Holy Trilogy of horror remakes from the 80s, or just movies remakes of all time, it is The Thing, The Blob, and The Fly. Um, I've seen John Carpenter's The Thing multitude of times. I absolutely love that movie, and it's over there in my collection somewhere. But I saw that movie. I thought it was absolutely awesome. I love The Thing. I absolutely love it. I've seen it when I was a kid. Just great movie. Absolutely love The Thing. The other one is The Fly. I just saw that about maybe a week or two before I saw The Blob, and I really enjoyed it. I really loved how it showed him. It was really sad. I really loved the score. The score is really great. Score is really good. But I really enjoyed The Fly. I wouldn't say I love it, but it was good. It was really good. And so then after, I was like, okay, well, he keeps talking about this movie, The Blob. Well, I think he did a Halloween thing on The Blob. He did a Halloween commentary. I was like, okay, this guy he absolutely loves The Blob. He's already introduced me to so many movies. I mean, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing, The Fog, all John Carpenter films, coincidentally, but a lot of other movies too. He introduced me like the Evil Dead trilogy. A lot of movies this guy's introduced me to. Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, all those movies. So I was just like, okay, I trust this guy's judgment. Let's check out this movie, The Blob. And so I bought the DVD, the $5 DVD. I got it from Amazon for literally $5. It was probably the best $5 I think I've ever spent in my life. Because I saw this movie the first time I saw it, I really enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. But then the movie I kept thinking about it, and it grew on me, and it grew on me, and it grew on me. I just kept thinking about it. Then I watched it a second time with my mom, and it was absolutely great. I loved this film. And so I have the DVD, but I was so lucky to also. I don't even know how I got my hands on this when these things are being sold for literally for like $80 on eBay. Let's look right now on eBay because let's see eBay. Let's see right now. This commentary is gonna be a little bit longer because I'm gonna watch the film. I'm just doing a little introduction to the film. Well, I'll talk about mostly the movie before, but let me see. But let's see eBay. The Blob Blu-ray. Let's see. Look at the look, and so they have They have the Blob Twilight Time. If you go on to eBay, which is, see, you pretty much go online and look up Twilight Time. That is the Twilight Time Blu-ray of the Blob. Only had 5,000 copies, 5,000 units. You see them here. They have listings for $91 for the Blob Blu-ray, $75. And these are brand new packaged. $40. They have one here for 22, which I don't think. Oh, it's Region B, so it's not Twilight Time. So it's oh, that's the Australian version. So they have one for $51 plus $11 shipping. So to get this Twilight Time Blu-ray, you have to pay $40 at minimum. $50. That's not even in counting. So minimum $50 just to get this Blu-ray, because they only wanted to make 5,000 copies. They do this so that they can just sell out. They charge them at $30 prices, brand new, where you can pre-order them and you can buy them. And I was on Amazon one day, and I saw that the Blob, the Twilight Time version, there was a person in Minneapolis, a store in Minneapolis, that had a copy that they didn't sell, and it was on Amazon for, I think, $17.99 plus $4 shipping and handling. So I made out like a bandit, and I got the Blob, the Twilight Time limited edition series on Blu-ray that has the features on it, which is only 5,000 units, and I got it for $22, which is an absolute fucking steal. It's a fucking robbery. So I didn't really watch this version on a high-def TV. I mean, I put it on and I listened to the commentary while I was studying for some test for my college. So I didn't really able to see the picture quality, but the picture quality on the DVD was good. So we're going to see the picture quality on the Blu-ray, the Twilight Time Blu-ray, which I really enjoyed the commentary. I really enjoyed the Friday Night Frights at the Cine Family, that little interview that they had with him. I really liked the booklet that came inside. So is it worth the $20? Yeah, to have the movie on Blu-ray, to have the audio commentary, to have the interview with the director, to have a little booklet inside that gives some facts about the film. I say it gives just enough to buy it for $20. Is it worth the $40, $50 price? Unless you're a huge fan like Ramparaf for Life, or for like me, I'd say no. But this movie is really growing on me. It might even become my favorite horror film of all time. That's how much. I mean, my favorite horror movies of all time are Halloween, Scream, and The Exorcist. This one is probably, and The Faculty's number 4 probably, because that movie's just so fun. This movie's probably 5 on my favorite horror films list, which is absolutely insane that it's grown on me this fast. I think it's the best out of the 3 remakes, but never mind. Let's get into the movie. I know I spent a shit ton of time talking right there, but yep, I hope you guys stick with me through this for the next hour and 30 minutes. So I hope you had time to go grab all your water. I have a gallon of water next to me. I was thinking about getting another energy drink, but I already had 2 today, and I don't want my heart to fucking explode. So let's sit down, kick back, relax, and have some fucking fun. So we press play in 3, 2, 1, press play. The last thing now is just to get the Blob on VHS. So this is a full screen Blu-ray. Let me see, is my audio working? Alright, so the volume is just going to be low enough so I can hear it, but not loud enough so it overtakes me. TriStar Pictures and Andre Elliott / Blake Klassner presents. Always love this opening title when, I don't know, the score I thought was good here. The Blob. And I won't even go to say that I think this might even be Kevin Dillon, our lead in the film, very good. Shawnee Smith and our other lead, very good. But what I like about this movie is that it's different. It's probably the most different out of all the 80s movies. But if we look at this movie, I mean, it takes probably the most risk out of all movies in the 80s. You look at this film, and they have the the role reversal with Donovan Leitch. Ooh, the shot opening up. God, the Blu-ray looks pretty good so far. And here we go into the movie. The movie looks pretty good so far. They'll close Paul McCrane, Sharon Spellman. But if you guys don't know me, I would love to be a director. That is my absolute passion. I love film. I love writing films. But I wouldn't mind remaking this film because it has so much potential to do just a whole bunch of crazy shit. And I'm not talking about CGI. I'm talking about real effects. The only CGI I think I would use, and if I remake this film, is to have maybe the big shots, the big wide shots of maybe like a big helicopter shot far away just to see how big it is, but like little things like that, like just little minor things, but have it mostly practical. And I adore this movie because it's fun. It's literally, I think, probably the most fun of any of the makeup effects design. Tony Gardner, absolutely fantastic. Creature effects designed and created by Lyle Conway. Tony Gardner and Lyle Conway, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely great. Visual effects supervisor Hoyt Eatman. It's absolutely great. This movie, I mean, if I remade it, just little things like that, but completely practical. Uh, Also, I wouldn't try to remake any of the scenes. I try to keep it different. Have different scenes, different characters, just different at the end. Because I feel like this movie is different from the Steve McQueen film, and that I feel like if you make a remake, you keep it in essence of the Blob. You keep the creature. You pretty much just keep the creature, and you keep the small town setting, and you keep it on just a single night. But everything else you have to change. I love this scene here where we get introduced to two of our main characters, Paul and Meg, but I like how you're set up for the first 30 minutes of this movie thinking that Paul is the main character. And I like that though, which was really good. You really get to see. And the thing is, it's not like a role reversal because you do like Paul. You're like, oh, he's a nice guy, you know. And then Brian Flagg, he's just a little bit of a little bit of a punk when he's just all like, oh, you're gonna make me get in the car? Oh, you want to pay for your dad's insurance? And then Paul's all like, am I gonna have to make you get in this car? So you do like Paul though. And so when he dies, it's just a little bit of, oh, you know, it's a little it's the whole shit, you know. But the good thing about this movie, there's a lot of movies with bad role reversals where they have, you know, like the Evil Dead remake. They had David, who wasn't the greatest of characters, but I liked him. I thought he was a good serviceable character. And you have him switch to this fucking bitch, Mia, who you didn't care about at all. In this movie, you have a good character, Paul, for the first 30 minutes. You like him, and then you switch him to an even better character. But I mean, even if they kept Paul alive and he was the main character and you had the three of them working together, I thought it would have been fine as well. But I really did enjoy our three young leads in this film. I do like how Paul dies in the first 30 minutes. I think it's like at the 30-minute mark he dies, and it's unexpected, and it's actually really good. I had never got this playing during the daytime. This is like a Saturday or a Sunday, because football games are played at nights, high school football games. I like this here. You have any plans this evening? And so you're introduced to him and her first. And you're thinking, okay, it's going to be them two. That's cool. And then you're introduced to our actual main lead here, Brian Flagg. And the movie looks really good. I have to say, I like on the back it's like a little laughing joke. I didn't notice that till now. You know, he's the rebel. The leather jacket. The mullet looks great. This movie, another thing too, this movie totally, and it totally captures the 1980s. It totally captures the 1980s. But I will say this movie probably has the best kills in all of the 1980s. Hell, it has some of the best kills ever, just in movie history, horror history. I mean, think about it. There's no other movie. This movie has huge body count, good visual effects, good practical effects, really good. I like this here. They're saying "Go, go," like they're cheering for him, and he's like the only one not at that football game because he just doesn't give a shit. It's characters like these that you like and you care about. You know, you care about Brian Flagg in this film. You care about Zeke Tyler in the faculty. You care about these rebels without a cause, but they have a little bit more to them. Like this guy, you know, you think that, oh, you know, he's just a rebel without a cause, a little bit of a punk asshole. But then you're like, oh no, dude, it's gonna be okay, you know. And then at the end, he doesn't just punk out on them. He comes back and saves the girl, you know. And just like Zeke Tyler in the faculty, you know, he's a bad boy without a cause, but you find out that he's only really taken a fifth year of high school, not because he's not smart, but because he's doing it just to sell drugs, and his parents bailed on him, and he's just by himself, but he's smarter than everyone thinks he is, and so I like characters like that. And I mean, they both, Zeke and Brian, both give off great one-liners, and it's just absolutely great. Also, two people in this film, Jeffrey DeMunn and Candy Clark. And then these two here, they actually had real good chemistry. Like, are you asking me out on a date? He's like, yeah, I think I am. And, you know, you buy them two that them two would go out on a date. But I didn't like how, I mean, this is a good character, just a little nitpick, but how they killed him off. It was an off-screen death. I mean, they still show him in the Blob. At least they did that. But I would have liked to seen him go out like a badass, you know, because he was a good character. He wasn't a stupid sheriff. He was a smart guy, you know. He was just like, yeah, you know, he's probably honestly the best sheriff or police officer, one of the best police officers in any horror film, because you know he's not a fucking jackass asshole just swinging his fucking authority around like it's a big fucking dick or some shit like that. Thinking, oh, well, fuck you, Flag. You know, you're staying in jail. No, he's just like, oh, you know, the kid. You know, he's a punk, but you know, he doesn't kill people. I don't believe he'd kill people, and you know, but it was good, very good. Really enjoyed this. Like this right here. I'm off at 11. You buy this little town, and what it's so relatable is if you live in a little town like this. I live in a little town just like this, little downtown area like this. Looks exactly like this. There, I was just, and then I like how right here, how it's just going by, and the police officer's just like, "Yeah, you screw up now, you're in the major, son." I love the poster behind him for Garden Toll Massacre. He's just there. He's like, "Yeah, birthday, birthday coming up." So you get a little sense here, like, oh, you know, I love how this movie, like everyone's first impression in this movie is, oh, okay, this character's going to be exactly like this, but no, it's unpredictable. The sheriff, you're like, okay, he's going to blame it all on him, he's going to be an asshole. But no, the sheriff isn't like that. Brian Flagg, oh, he's just going to be this fucking punk throughout the rest of the movie. No, he's not. He's actually a very good character who cares about people. Oh, Donovan Leach, he's going to be the main character. He's going to be the predictable, regular jock who saves the girl. Like, oh, no, he's not. He actually dies. Or fucking Meg. Fucking, oh, she's just going to be the cheerleader who's fucking a damsel in distress, but she's not. I was watching the commentary earlier, and they were talking about, okay, well, we wanted to keep it unpredictable. And one way to keep it unpredictable is to, change up the characters. Have people who you thought weren't gonna die. You know, like a little kid getting killed, or Donovan Leitch's character dying. That's what's great about this movie. And so if you want some little facts, let me look up real quick. Some little flags. Not Brian Flag, you fucking idiot. If you want some little facts on the film, we're gonna go right now. We're just gonna look up some little facts. Okay. So the movie came out August 5th, 1988. So it was a end of summer film. There's usually always those end of summer films. August is usually middle of August, end of August is really when summer stops. So the film was released theatrically in 1998, earning 8.2 million. Despite the movie got mixed to positive reviews. Praise was heavily regarding the special effects. Much like the original film, the remake has since garnered a cult following, and some consider it to be one of the best remakes ever made. I'd probably say it's probably the best remake out there. Because I do like The Thing and I do like The Fly. I would probably say The Fly it's my least favorite, even though it's a really good film. But I'd say it would go number 3, The Fly, number 2, The Thing, and number 1, The Blob. Because The Blob is just so much fun. So, yeah, the movie had about a $20 million budget. Only made 8.2 million. If you take into account the advertising for about maybe 2-3 million, so about 23 million, and then you think about a third of the 8 million bucks went to the box office, so think about maybe 6, and you think about maybe tax, so maybe they made about maybe 4.5 million. The movie was a bomb. I mean, that's actually really bad, especially for the late 80s, where you can make, a fucking shit ton of movies. A shit ton of Roger Corman could have fucking lived a year off of fucking $20 million. So that was actually pretty bad. This movie was a pretty bad bomb, which is disappointing. It's also disappointing why this movie doesn't have a really good Blu-ray release. I mean, Twilight Time, if it wasn't this limited edition 5,000 units bullshit, then I would actually say, hey, it's not that bad of a Blu-ray release, but it shouldn't be 5,000 units. It's fucking bullshit. Love this scene here where he's getting fucking condoms and blames on Donovan Leitch's character. Del Close, he just looks a little bit creepy with a gap in between his teeth. Ripped or regular? I like that there. I like what happens later. He's like, ripped. Which is good. I really enjoy the movie. Really enjoy it. There's a lot of humor in this film, too. That's the thing. It's fun. It's really fun. A lot of humor. Really good. I really enjoyed this movie. A lot of great humor. This place, I had to drag him down here. He's like, come on. Can't keep this girl waiting. He's like, this boy needs a muscle. He's just looking at him all wide-eyed. It's just good comedy, really good movie. This movie's really good. So here again, Reese Blob is part of the 4-movie Horror Unleashed collection, along with Fright Night, Christine, Seven Sign. I know there's another Blu-ray. If you guys really want to get this movie on Blu-ray, if you can't get your hands on the Twilight Time, but you want the Blu-ray version, there is an Australian company, Umbrella, that sells an unlocked, region-free Blu-ray, but it only has, I think, an interview with the director, a single interview. So this movie doesn't have, let me look on the back. It doesn't have the isolated score track. It doesn't have the audio commentary of director Chuck Russell and horror authority Ryan Turek. It doesn't have the Friday Nights at the Cinefamily, Friday Night Frights at the Cinefamily interview. So it doesn't have the key features that you do want that you can watch. So if you guys can't get that, but you guys want it on Blu-ray, you guys can get it uh, without paying an arm and a leg. I think it's like 20, 25 bucks. And this thing here is just, why would he do that? Like, I know we're not supposed to be criticizing. I'm not criticizing the movie. It's just you think like, fuck no, I would never do this shit. And the movie looks really good though on Blu-ray. I'm not gonna lie. That guy just slides up and gets onto his hand, and they just go to him slurping down the Jello. So it is a comedy though. You know, it's a horror comedy. Is exactly what it is. It's great. It's absolutely great, and it's fun. But it's also very brutal and very violent at sometimes, which is great too. I'd say Evil Dead 2 is a little bit of my problem with Evil Dead 2 is that it goes from a complete serious horror movie to some slapstick comedy. Like really fucking slapstick. And then Army of Darkness is just complete comedy. Like for me, Evil Dead 2 is kind of like ADHD, multiple personality disorder. It doesn't know what it wants to be most of the time, whether it's trying to be horrifying or it's trying to be very gory. That's the thing. I like Evil Dead and Army of Darkness more because it knows what it is. Evil Dead is just a straight up horror film, and then Army of Darkness is just straight up comedy, and it's great. But the Blob, it's a great horror comedy. I love it. I wouldn't say it's really horror comedy, but it really is horror with a really good amount of comedy. A good amount, a lot amount, I'd say. But it is very violent sometimes. Like up here, he's like, "Can I see Meg? Why?" He's like, "I just want to see her." And he's like, "Oh, 1 minute," just slams the door on him. Great. Slams. That's great. He's like ripped. Yeah, see, Paul, it's kind of sad when you see Donovan Leach's character die because you feel fucking sad for him. He's just this normal guy. And the way he goes out is just so brutal. But yeah, I really like this guy. The two kids are pretty funny. Eddie, when he's in the sewer, he's just like, "I promise I'm never gonna go to the movies again," which is absolutely great. But look up some facts about the movie. This movie has a 6.4 on IMDb, which is too low. Way too low. So, let me see. So the movie's $19 million budget, half of it went towards visual effects, which is insane. Oh, look at the scene here. And her face is just like, ripped. Because he's just like, oh shit. Paul and Eddie's death and different gore effects. So this would be nod to Steve McQueen. Whole series mission. Second row. Let me see. Oh, so I just found some bullshit. So apparently the Friday Night Frights at the Cine Family, pretty much that interview with him wasn't going to be on there unless I love this shot here, how it just goes over his hand. About pretty much that interview there, that 20-minute interview, wasn't going to be on the Blu-ray, but then they said, "Oh yeah, you can have it. You can just have it." And pretty much had it for free, and that's why they put it on. So, Twilight Time, you can go fuck yourself. The Blu-ray, it looks good. I like the commentary. I like the interview, but it's just fucking bullshit, especially for 5,000 units. The really Scream Factory needs to get this film. And then these two, they got good chemistry. In this scene, they got good, yeah, they have good chemistry in this scene. And then the scene before when he walks in, he's like, "You survived my family." He's like, "Yeah, these two, you can buy these two as a couple." But Donovan Leitch's character is not as good as Brian Flagg's character, not nearly. But I like this here, how Brian Flagg, he's being a little bit of a punk, but Donovan Leitch's character, he's all like, "You gonna get in this car? I'm gonna have to make you." So you like all three of these characters, and you're like, "Oh, okay, it's gonna be these three characters versus the Blob." But then when Donovan Leitch's character, the first time I saw it, I was like, "Holy shit, motherfucker's dead." And he's like, "It came from the sky." He's like, "What is he saying?" I like these two here. Should he have lived through the movie? I don't know. I think it would have been a little interesting seeing these two butt heads, but then again, I didn't. I think that another male to share screen time with, Kevin Dillon's character, probably not the smartest idea. Because that probably would have taken more screen time away from Kevin Dillon. I don't agree with that. Because Kevin Dillon's character is a lot better. But yeah, you enjoy these characters, you do. All three of them, I'd say. I love this shot right here with all three of them in the car, and then he just puts his arm over her. Look at her face in the middle, just like, I don't want. Why does this guy have his arm over me? They bring him in here, and this scene is just it completely fucking says about fucking our country. It's like, does he have Blue Shield? Like, can't believe. I love Kevin Dillon's character because it's totally believable how it'd be. He's like, can't believe it. Shit. God needs to see a fucking doctor, motherfucker. I'd reach over that counter, grab the bitch by the fucking collar, and say, this motherfucker needs a doctor. No offense to any woman, but it's kind of a bitchy thing to say. Oh, does he have fucking health care? It's like, well, what? He's a fucking human being. I also love the comedy when the doctor's just like, oh, this is the hand injury, right? And they pull him down and half of his fucking body is melted off. Like, a hand injury, how the fuck did this hand injury turn into him fucking being melted and shit? You see him here, he's like, oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be okay, old dude. They're gonna take care of you, being a nice person. You see her here, she looks at him and sees it, that, he's not just the bad boy. But you like these two, these characters, like I said, these characters, they all feel real, they all feel like people in my town. The cheerleader, the jock, the bad boy. But you saw Shawnee Smith, she was totally digging Brian Flagmore. And then Paul Taylor's character, he's just sitting here filling all this paperwork. He was supposed to go on the date, but instead he got fucking killed. Which is crazy. But yeah, this movie is unpredictable, The main character, the person you think's gonna be the main character, who you have spent the most screen time with, you think about it, the person you spend the most screen time with in the first 30 minutes is Donovan Leitch's character, and he dies. The little kid fucking dies as well. It's good. You really don't expect some of the stuff. It really throws a lot of curveballs at you. And you find out the meteorite, oh, it's not an alien, it's man-made. It's a man-made blob. It was really great. I love this scene here. It builds up the suspense here when he goes over to him, walks over him, pulls over the fucking blanket. He's like, oh shit. That's would have been like, fuck this, and ran the fuck out there. Would have grabbed Shawnee Smith and been like, we're the fuck out of here. And the blob I don't know if it's just me or the more people it eats, it just gets more and more disgusting. Like, it just looks more and more disgusting. There's someone fucking dying here. But also, this movie is very fucking brutal. People literally just dissolving inside of the fucking thing. Is this the hand injury? Fucking pulls it up. Oh, it's more than a hand injury, motherfucker. This shit. His fucking hand injury turned. So, what I see his arms did, the hand injury, He's like, the thing on his hand. And his character's actually smart, Don Leach, He's like, oh, what causes, oh, it's the thing on his hand. And, he heard him, and he's like, wait, what did he say? So it's not like this character was just fucking stupid, I mean, he did the right thing. He went to go call the cops and be like, hey, something's on over here. And, he wasn't a stupid character. It's just that we needed to kill off a character that actually knew what was going on. Needed to call him. And then I just love that shot here, the Blob. It's like a pink goo, but every time it kills people or it gets bigger and bigger, it just looks more and more veins, and you can see veins in it. It's just disgusting more. Oh, it's just just getting dissolved in that thing just sounds fucking horrible. It looks fucking horrible. Him and the movie theater guy get probably the worst death. The movie theater guy is just melted on the ceiling. That's pretty bad. He gets a bad one. Really bad. Like, he's like going out the window. It's just dissolving. And her face, natural reaction, like, Paul. It's just, and you just see the little smoke coming up, like he's just getting burned and dissolved. Oh, that's fucking brutal. And then his arm comes off. Ooh. His fucking hand is moving. You can see a little bit in the indentation where, like, it was puffed up a little bit underneath where you can see a fingers move, but that's no problem, this is the 80s. Oh, man. You like the sheriff here. It's sad when he goes. Yeah, that was a great scene. I mean, it's funny because the movie is just a small little movie. It feels like a small little independent high school film. But as soon as the Blob keeps getting bigger and bigger, the set pieces and the action just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, you go from this scene to the, what scene after this? Where the Blob attacks next? You talk the car, so it's a bigger scene, bigger death. And then it goes from that to the diner scene where he pulls him down the sink and this attacks the diner in the phone booth, and it just gets bigger. It's bigger action piece. So the action set pieces, every time the Blob gets bigger the action sequences get. They always outdo themselves in the film, which is good, which I feel like if you do a remake, you have to follow that same pattern where you start off small and you just keep getting bigger Blob, bigger action sequences. How it goes from here, it goes from the Blob attacks them in the diner, and then the Blob attacks the movie theater, and then the Blob attacks the whole fucking town. Like, it goes fucking insane, and that's what's so great. And how it's in the sewers and shit. Really good. And this girl here, she was a Playboy model, I know that, but fucking so bad what this guy is this guy reminds me of some guy from high school. I mean, it's sad to say that, but not like the rapist, but just some guy who just fucking was a fucking player, complete fucking player, completely fucking said, oh yeah, you're wearing my championship ring, you're wearing my class ring, you're my girlfriend. It's all like, there was people like that, guys like in high school who went with multiple different girls and be like, oh yeah, you're my girlfriend, just getting their pants. Like, and he has a whole fucking mini bar. Like, can you really take this movie completely seriously? Can you? Like, can you just be like, oh, this is fucking Oscar-worthy shit? It's all like, no, this movie, you cannot take this movie seriously. Like, not seriously in the fact, like, oh, take it completely dead serious, no fun, no laughter at all. No, I mean, you can't take this movie completely dead-ass serious. I love how the little smoke, because it just keeps dissolving everything in its path. Look, he has a little blender fucking thing, God. Guy is such a fucking sleaze. Can't even believe it. Look, he has a million. You find out he has a million of those fucking rings, which is hilarious. See what happens here? I mean, you do that shit, fucking you get eaten. If you guys didn't know, Chuck Russell, who before he directed this film, he directed A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film. I would actually say I like The Blob more than Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Because I do think this movie's more fun. This movie has a lot of rewatchability because it's just so fun to watch. It's movies like this and The Faculty. You know, those movies that have great characters, great one-liners, just totally fun. Just fun fucking movies that you can just watch over and over and over again. This guy, he just goes from fucking just this lovable fucking sleazebag into this completely creepy fucking guy. Like, he goes complete creep. He's like, I'll just unbutton it. Like, that's not completely fucking creepy. Forgot what his name is. I have to look. I know in the DVD box it says in there. Flag down the ride. Lost Brian Flag. Paul Taylor. Scott. His name's Scott. Scott's final score. And just fucking grabs him. And I love this here. Oh, just how her face, it literally implodes and then explodes on him. And I heard they had to tilt the car over. I love the one thing about this commentary, and the commentary on this Blu-ray to the film is really good and informative. That and the 20-minute interview with the director, because it really gives you some back on the film, like some stuff they did on the film. Like they said how they used to tilt that car over and just pour a whole bunch of that stuff down so it looked like it'd get them. But a really good. The commentary on this was really good, I have to admit. But then that doesn't really do with Twilight Time, because then it was really the director. Props to him. He didn't make it, long periods of time where there's no talking. It was actually really good commentary, really informative. Like, you got to learn some stuff. Like, Richard Grieco was originally up for the role of Brian Flagg, which I do have to admit, I absolutely love the 21 Jump Street TV series. I've seen the whole series. I've seen mostly the first 4 seasons multiple times because I love Johnny Depp, I love Richard Grieco, I love Peter DeLuise. I love that show. I'm honestly not gonna lie. If Richard Grieco was in this movie, I don't think it would be any worse. But I would honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I would have liked to see Richard Grieco in this role of Brian Flagg. I mean, he's a little old for it. I don't know. He looks a little bit older than Kevin Dillon at this time. I don't know. This was before he got on, or I think it was a year before he went on 21 Jump Street, so he wasn't the huge pop star. Because I remember 21 Jump Street was really big in its second, third, in his first 3 seasons, really huge. Richard Grieco was huge in it. But then it was around season 4, season 5, 21 Jump Street when it was really getting down, and that's why it ended during season 5. But Richard Grieco became really big star with 21 Jump Street and then the spin-off TV show Booker. But I would have enjoyed seeing him in this role as Brian Flagg. I do think he could have pulled it off, though, as the leather jacket wearing punk rebel. I do think that him and Shawnee Smith would have good chemistry, but I do really enjoy Kevin Dillon in this role. So I'm not gonna complain. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, for me, I thought they both would have done really good. Kevin Dillon does a really good job. I think Richard Grieco would have also done a really good job as well. Because I wouldn't say a Richard Grieco fan, but I do enjoy 21 Jump Street a lot. Just see here, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's just, it looks disgusting. A blob. And I don't like how they made it not pink. Like, I remember the original Steve McQueen, it wasn't pink. The blob was like red. It was like a really red color. This one, I like how it's pink. If they did another blob, I think they should do not really a different color, but a different variation of like the red pinkish color. Maybe like a dark pink or something. I don't know, but I think it'd be different. Not like green though. Like if you were doing like if somebody, I remember Chuck Russell thinking, oh maybe we'll make the blob green, but no, I don't think that would have been good. Oh, the lick here. What are you gonna do about it? And just licks his chin. Like, go ahead. I like Chuck Russell, he's like, yeah, that was written in the script. Him licking his chin and shit. But I just like how he just gives no fucks. Let me find a little backstory here. No one knows who his father is. He doesn't know who his father is. His mom pretty much runs off with different men and shit. Which is, that's always sad. It's relatable to me, though. But it's good. I really like the character. Brian Flagg. And I like this scene here. How they're just like, oh, cut him loose. I mean, he got no blood, he got no nothing. Why would we keep it? I mean, it's realistic towards today. A lot of horror movies are unrealistic. Like, oh, you got no motive, you don't even barely know the motherfucker. You got no blood on you, but we're gonna keep you because fucking we're assholes. This is how a real cop would fucking do it. He'd be like, okay, there's no blood, no motive, no fucking reason to kill him. So, why the fuck would we keep you and waste our time with you? And they just let him loose. I like this here. How she was like, I'm gonna bail you. I was gonna bail you out with a fucking credit card. Or a fucking debit card. She's like, I was gonna bail you out, Brian. I came to bail you out. That's hilarious. Don't take plastic. Shawnee Smith, she's cute in this film. She doesn't have, she isn't caked up with makeup. She isn't a fucking supermodel, She's a natural young teenage girl who's just a pretty young girl, She's not a fucking supermodel. No one in this movie is a supermodel. They're just good looking, Kevin Dillon, good looking guy, and then Shawnee Smith is a young, natural, beautiful girl. Which is good, you don't have these fucking supermodels in movies. Like fucking, nowadays they do it with like fucking Zac Efron and fucking the girl, the redhead from fucking that new Medea movie, fucking Thorne, her last name is, or something shit like that. Girl for some TV girl from the Scream TV show. These fucking supermodels. Fuck that. Do you see, these are real people. You can find these people in a town. Good looking people. Not supermodels, but a handsome man and a good looking girl. I love this scene here. What did happen tonight? All I saw was an old man with a funky hand. It was good though. Like this here. How? And one thing I like about this movie, I really enjoy about The Blob, most horror films today, let me look at my collection, with fucking pretty much every fucking horror movie I can think of with a male and female lead, they either try to force a love story, or have them at the end, they're like, oh, we've only known each other for fucking 6-7 hours, or 8 hours, not even half a fucking day, and we're in love, or we're gonna kiss. But you like these two characters. I like how these two characters aren't forced in a relationship. They're not forced into a fake romance. For most of the film, for all of the film, they're friends. It's really about them. And at the end, I love how they got up. She's like, Brian, and then they look up at each other, and I was like, oh, they're gonna kiss. But no, they hugged, which is great. Which, you get a little thing here like, oh, maybe they like each other. Like, like, a cheerleader, man. Like, a cheerleader flag. I like right here how he makes her, she's crying, and she's like, how's it feel? And he makes her laugh, You think that, okay, these two, it isn't a forced relationship, a forced them being loved, but maybe it's the start of something, I love at the end, it's a brave new love. And pretty much that's what it is. By the end of the film, they hugged, and now their lives are changed forever, they know each other, and it's the start of a brave new love. which it's not forced. They didn't need to see things. They didn't need to kiss at the end. They didn't need to kiss throughout the film. You know, hold hands and shit like that. No forced romance, because we got it. Their lives are changed for forever. They hug. They're gonna know each other forever, and it's a brave new love. You know, there's a possibility of them being together, which is great because most horror movies nowadays, or fucking no, most movies nowadays or back then, or just in general, fucking have forced relationships, and I just don't fucking like it. You know, it's not them all over each other by the end of the film. I've known you for fucking 5, 6 hours. We're gonna fuck already. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Now, we're pretty much like at the halfway point of this movie, which just shows you how much this movie just fucking moves. Like, you're just like, holy shit, we're at the halfway point. Here, fucking the scene coming up of how his head gets pulled in to the fucking sink. A lot of people are all like, oh, I love Chuck Russell's explanation of how he's like, you know, I really thought that I really wanted to make this movie is because I thought we could do uh, a lot more with the Blob. I thought we can do a lot more things and just a lot of things that they didn't do. I thought we can just beef it up, you know. Just basically, I thought that we can do a lot more things. And for me, as a young director, I've directed a handful of short films at school, but for me, I think I can do a lot of different things with a remake. You know, a lot of different kills. I'm not gonna say any of them. But no, one day I am writing. I'm gonna admit it right now. I am writing a script for this film. I know that Simon West is supposed to do a remake, but I'm just trying to write a script and get it sent around through people so it can make some noise. And I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get a version of the script that I have. I'm trying to get it made. I'm trying to get it made. I'm trying to get it made. I'm trying to get it made because you can do so much with this movie. And the things that I'm keeping with my script is I don't want this movie to be like the '88 film in the sense of recreating characters, recreating scenes. Oh, great kill! Just it's fucking hilarious. You know, people are taking this shit serious. Well, you're stupid. It's like, well, you're just taking this scene. You're just taking this movie way too serious. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. And that's the thing. 3 rules with me trying to remake the film. You don't try to recreate any of the major scenes, any of the major characters, or steal any of the real dialogue from the film. That's what you do, number one. Number two, you make the kills you have to make different. You have to make the kills and the action set pieces you have to do different. You cannot try to recreate those. It's fucking pointless when they already did a masterful perfect job. You can't recreate these characters. You can't recreate these kills. There's no point. It's no point. If I did that, I'd just fucking pop in. I would just try to re-release the original in theaters. That's what you do. And the third is you have to keep it relevant and fun. If you didn't keep this film relevant and fun with just the amount of fun scenes, fun action scenes, the amount of relevance of, okay, well, this back then was relevant because, you know, we were doing it was the Cold War back then, and the Cold War, and the Cold War. It was ending towards the Cold War. And it was like, okay, you know, this is something America would fucking do, and nowadays, you know, I'm not going to explain anything, but what would America and stuff like this nowadays do it? So that's the keep it fun and keep it relevant. And that's why, you know, I'm trying to remake this film. I'm not trying to remake this film. That's not what it is. I think it's a wrong word. I think remake, reboot is wrong because I'm not trying. That's the thing. I'm not trying to remake this film. I'm not trying to remake the 1958 film. I'm trying to take the Blob and do what Chuck Russell did with it. I want to make my own thing, using the Blob as pretty much the MacGuffin. If you don't know what it is, it's a thing that moves your story. I have my own characters, I have everything. I just want to. Oh, look, you can see like the veins and stuff. That's the thing about the Blob. It's all veiny and shit. That's the thing. I'm not trying to remake this film. I'm trying to make my own film with my own characters, my own scenes, my own set pieces. There's no point in remaking a film that's pretty much perfect, and this movie is pretty much perfect. I've seen Howard's fucking eye just ugh, oh god. You know, it's great seeing him there, but I would have liked to see his death. Oh, just. But yeah, pretty much expand and build on what the last two films made, and just make it new, make it your own thing. That's the thing. I'm not anti-remake. That's the thing. But the thing about remakes nowadays is they try to remake the film. Like, the thing about remakes is they try to remake the previous film, which is pretty much a remake, like the Psycho remake or some other remakes. They just copy the film shot for shot, which makes no sense because the movie already did it masterfully. We don't need a remake of that, a shot for shot remake. And the thing is, they try to do something brand new, but they just go off the fucking rails and do something completely different that's just not fucking good. What the thing you have to do is, you have to make it different enough so that it's not remaking the film that you're trying to remake, but it's similar enough and in the same vein that will attract the same fans. So it's hard to nail down, but if you do that, you'll have a successful remake. And that's what they did with The Thing and The Fly and The Blob. If you look at them, all these three movies, remakes, they're all vastly different than the original. The directors they took the premise and they made their own film with it. And that's what I'm trying to do with this film. I'm taking the premise of a blob comes from the sky and it attacks a small town. That's pretty much everything you're taking. Oh, you see the veins. Just, ugh. It drops the bottle. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much you taking, if you're a director, what you need to do is, you need to take a director or a writer, you take the simple premise of a film, and you say, okay, I'm taking the premise. You pretty much look on the back of a box of a film and say, about an anamorphous pile of goo laying siege to a small town, and that's it. You take that, an anamorphous pile of goo laying siege to a small town. It's a big blob that gets bigger while eating people, and it's attacking a small town. That's it. You take that and you create your own film with it. You do your own thing, but you don't go fucking haywire like Rob Zombie was trying to do. Fucking, oh, it's what was it? Organic. What was it? Biological organic life form of something. Whatever Rob Zombie was trying to do. That's way too fucking off the rails. What you need to do is you need to merge a little off the rails, but you can't go fucking blow the rails up, fucking take a shit on it, and then fucking wrap it up and put it into theaters and expect people will like it. You need to do your own thing, but you don't need to go off the fucking rails. Which I think people have a lot of problems with. That was fucking the Halloween remake. He took the premise of the film and he gave it a backstory. He explained everything of it, and it wasn't good. You don't need to do that. Like, a bad thing of the Blob nowadays is you pretty much take this film, you take these characters, you fucking ruin these characters, you give them all big out backstories. You give out a backstory to Brian Flagg, and he's like, oh, my mom, she left me. Or you give him a backstory of him growing up and shit, and you see everything. It's like, no, Brian Flagg doesn't need a backstory. You know, his mom's gone, he doesn't know who his dad is, and that's it. You don't need a big old backstory explaining everything. That's one of the biggest problems with the Halloween remake and the Black Christmas remake. And the thing is, you need to make the kills fucking awesome. But yeah, that was pretty much like a short spill, like a short teaching lesson of what's wrong with remakes of today. capture the essence and fun that the movie originals had. I love the scene. I don't know, I'm always a sucker for forest films where it's a dark, foggy night with the full moon out, and you're going in there. It's just I'm always a sucker for that. I always love that, like those, like the original Wolfman, how it's okay. It's a foggy woods, full moon. It's just some creepy things out there. It's just I'm a sucker for that. I love that setting. But love the scene. I love the men in the white hazmat suits. And the thing is, okay, watch if you guys have Phantoms, which is a horror film starring Ben Affleck from the late '90s. I think it came out exactly 10 years after this. Phantoms like stole this movie. There's a scene where there's like this sludge thing that kills like these white guys. These guys in white hazmat suits come to this town, and then just this sludge is like killing them, and they're shooting at it and everything. It's like holy shit. Phantoms fucking steals the plot. Phantoms is pretty much a rip-off. The movie version of Phantoms, because the book is actually amazing. The book is actually very good. Put those weapons down. And you see this guy, and I like how this is unpredictable, because you see this guy, and you're thinking, oh, at first, oh, maybe he's just an asshole. And then he's just this guy who's just like, oh, the dinosaurs, they died, and he's explaining to them. And at first you're all like, oh, maybe he's actually going to help him. He's going to help him try to contain it. But it's like, oh, no, he's not. He's a fucking asshole. It's good here. Very good. Yes, I'm yawning. It is 12:15 at night. Well, I guess technically it's the next day, but yeah. Originally, me and Don were supposed to do a podcast on our favorite fun horror films, or favorite creature feature films. To which I was going to bring this movie up, but he was busy, so I said, fuck it. The podcast, we haven't done one in fucking forever, and I wasn't going to prolong it, the absence of it, so I just said, fuck it, I'll do a Groovy podcast, episode 7, just on a commentary on this movie. I like the look on Kevin Dillon's face, like, see, the thing is, Shawnee Smith, like, her face is just like, she's like eating this whole shit up this guy is feeding her, and she's like, oh, really, and shit. Not saying that she's dumb or anything, that, fuck, if some guys in hazmat suits, or some guys fucking shades and fucking suits came, and they're like, yeah, then they're the Secret Service, and they said, the world's ending in the car, and be like, oh shit, you'd believe them. But like how Kevin Dillon's character, he's like, oh, his face on something's like, yeah, I don't believe this shit. I love this scene right here. Who's doing this at night? He's like, wait a minute, hockey season ended months ago. Hockey season ended months ago, or a month ago, or some shit like that. That's hilarious. Hockey season ended months ago. Like, oh god, it's so fucking hilarious. And then that guy, I've experienced people before who are just complete fucking assholes in the movie theater, and this guy, I wouldn't say he's the worst, but he's just fucking annoying. I've experienced people in the movie theater like that. You're just like, fucking seriously, dude? It's like, you shut up. I've really had fucking girls fucking. I remember, I think it was Clash of the Titans 2010s, which it's not a good movie. That movie's not a good movie, but if you're paid money to go see a film, why the fuck would you talk through it the whole way through? Like, these girls just sat there, and literally, it wasn't even like talking about movies, like, oh, this shot's good, or oh, look at the cinematography. So these girls like, yeah, my boyfriend, he's a fucking dick. Shit like that. And I was like, oh, it was some stupid girl talk like that. This guy, I think he might have actually have the worst death in the movie. I mean, worse, I mean, he gets it fucking bad. Just him hanging from the fucking ceiling. Oh, he's just like, he's not even hanging from the ceiling. He's like, fucking melting onto the ceiling. God, his death is really fucking bad. Like, oh, to die that way, and he's still fucking alive because he's like, oh. He just walks up there. And I see the things don't want to be mean here, but I never understood people who don't have hair in the middle. They just have a little hair. They're mostly bald right there. It's just like, why don't they just go full bald? I mean, they're holding on to all that hair. It's not trying to be mean. It's just I never found the point of it. If you have like a bald spot like that, why don't you just fucking? Oh god, the yo-yo. Just look at his death, dear God. I assume he's doing. He's still alive though, so. It just cuts to them. And it cuts back to them. You're like, oh shit, wait, what? You're just gonna leave us hanging? Like, yeah. Go back to town. He's like, no, you're my patient. Sounds the same to me, motherfucker. See, the thing is, there's just been so much evidence over time that you don't trust the government, so I can't really blame Brian Flagg. But, you know, there's some people who trust the government wholeheartedly no matter what. So I can't really blame Meg, but for me, I'd personally be more on the side of Brian Flagg, like, yeah, fuck this shit, we're not staying in here. You just look at his face now, it's like, yeah, this motherfucker's up to something. I like this scene here and them with them, and she's like, it's locked, Brian. You're acting like a jerk. I don't think he's acting like a jerk. I just think he's fucking concerned. Like, yeah, you know, people just show up in their fucking hazmat suits. People don't just show. Yeah, I like at the end, you know. Do you really think that these guys are just gonna show up real quick like this? No, it's not true. I mean, unless, like, if the government had nothing to do with it, like, say in the original, it would take them, like, a day, you know, maybe not, maybe 12 hours, you know, maybe 10, 12 hours for them to really get there, finish mobilizing, because you'd be like, oh shit, you know, you need to get clearance and shit. So these motherfuckers knew about this. The only thing is, I'm glad they didn't go tomb death, but I wish I would a little bit more known. Like, okay, was it something they're studying on? I mean, so it was shot up into space, but they said it was shot up into space and like mutated up there with something. So, look at this here. No one else volunteered for the job. But he's like, ah, Christ flag, a cheerleader. But it is nice how, like, it's like, okay, is it fucking? So did they know about this? Did they have time to mobilize? Why did the government really approve this? Did the government approve this because they're trying to use the weapon? Or was this just a science experiment that the government didn't know about? Well, the government had to know about it because there's colonels there and stuff. But did you think Meadows, you know, did he lie about them? He's like, oh yeah, it is a contagion. We need to contain it, you know? Did he lie to them, or did he tell them that was some big blob thing? Because I'd feel like if it was a big blob thing growing, they would send way more men than this. Like, they'd send the fucking cavalry down. The cavalry down there. You know, send it down. They'd be like, we're gonna nuke this motherfucker. Like, you know, at the end of Return of the Living Dead, where they'd just be like, yeah, we're gonna nuke this motherfucker. So, I'm thinking Meadows just is like, oh, you know, Meadows said they died or some shit. Meadows is like, oh yeah, it's just some fucking bacteria. So it was the biggest son of a bitch you ever seen. big. The funny thing is, like, I'm not trying to nitpick the movie, but fucking Meg and Brian, they're all like, oh, it's a germ, it's a virus. It's all like, that's why. Well, it's not really Brian's character because he's all like, what the fuck? I don't trust this shit. But Meg's just, I think she's a little gullible because she's like, oh, what is it? It's a germ. It's like, does that look like a fucking germ? Fucking virus. Maybe people you make an argument. Oh, I think it's a virus that took, a form. I like the scene here where it just goes, and just it goes fucking like pink. The screen just fucking goes like pink, and you see the blob just coming down. You can notice that it's miniature right there. People just running out with here. I love how the blob here is just fucking throwing people in it. Like the blob is just fucking getting people left and right. Fun fact, if you don't know, that is actually Jameson Newlander from The Lost Boys. Oh, look, see, it's just fucking getting people left and right. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Oh, this right here, just poke up her head. It's just fucking. See, she gives a little move, and that's why you're like, oh shit. Oh, it's just melted. Ugh. Fucking disgusting. I like the little kid, her little brother, who played in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Oh god, this thing's gonna give you a fucking seizure. As you see now, it just gets more and more disgusting. But as I said earlier, you go from the small attack in the hospital, attacking just Paul, or attacks the guy and then melts him half, and then it does that big attack on Paul, and it moves on to a bigger attack in the car, and then it moves to a really big attack in the diner, and then it moves to a big theater attack, and then it moves to a whole fucking town attack. So it just keeps getting like I said, I love how as the blob gets bigger and bigger, the set pieces in action get bigger and bigger, and the attacks get bigger and bigger. It's just great. It's absolutely fucking great. I love how the blob's just fucking disgusting. Whatever happened? Is he? I have a question. Is him, James Newlander's character right there, Usher? Is he the one who gets smacked on the sidewalk and then he's just flattened out and picked up? And the blob? I always wondered that, but I never knew. Just like, oh shit. And then killing the kid, you know, did they need to really kill the kid? No, not necessarily. Because, if the kid was a little shit, then who cares? But Eddie, I mean, you didn't mind Eddie because he's just like, I'll never see a movie again. He was fun. He liked these two kids. And so, did you really need the kid to die? No, it wasn't necessary. Did it make the film any better? No, it really doesn't. I'd have to admit, some people are like, oh, it's really ballsy. I think the whole movie is ballsy. I think that the killing of Paul Taylor's character in the beginning is really ballsy. I think a lot of stuff, having the girl with the fucking M16 going, come on, you can do better than that. That's really ballsy. I think there's a lot more ballsy things in this movie than just killing off the kid, so. Maybe I'm a softie, but that's just the thing, I'm not gonna say, oh, it was fucking horrible or bad, but I'm not saying that the kid kill was great, or that, oh, they needed it, because it made the film way more ballsy and better. No. But, look, just right here, he's like, it created life. It's like, what the fuck? Created a fucking parasite is what it did. It's kind of like the tree rape scene from Evil Dead. I mean, did they really need it? No. Did it make the film any worse? No. But did it make the film any better? No. Was it just kind of a throwaway scene for shock? Yeah, it really kind of is. But it's not detracting. It's not a negative. It's not a nitpick. It's just me speaking my mind. But I do love this movie though. It's really great. This is where you just get it. Where he's like, yeah, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. He's all like, I am thinking about the lives of millions. Don't you think I know that? It was obviously not, motherfucker, if you're willing to sacrifice his town just to contain this thing. I love this little chase here. It adds a little bit more action. This movie moves at a tremendous pace. World power. It sounds like a fucking Nazi or fucking emperor. World power. World domination. It's really great though. Really love that shit. But yeah, really the final act kicks in. The second act really ends uh, with them going into the sewers, and it really starts. The third act really starts right here with this chase. That's how the third act really starts. The first act ends with Paul, him dying. Second act starts with them bringing Brian Flag into the station and Meg at home, and then it ends with really the movie theater scene, them going into the sewer. This is really where third act starts. Because from this point on, the movie just doesn't stop. It goes from this chase scene to him going into the sewer with the blob, attacking stuff, and then it's them just shooting up at them. He blows up the truck, and then the blob comes up and starts attacking. It really doesn't end from this point on. It just doesn't stop. I love the score to this movie. It is a little, like just a little bit hokey at some points, like very 1980s score, but it's great. I actually really enjoy the score to this movie. Really good. These guys remind me of the stormtroopers because they can't get a fucking shot. That's like close, but they don't get a shot. They have tons of firepower. Look right there, he's just sitting out there and he doesn't get him. It's like, oh. So these were the stormtroopers before they were stormtroopers. It may sound like I have a little nitpick here or there, but I vastly enjoy this movie. Okay, was that in miniature? Did they really crash that, or because that looks really real? If that was a miniature, oh, like right there, give him the finger. If that was a miniature, that was a really well done miniature. He just goes in here. He's going into the sewer. I love the scene in the sewer with him, and he grabs Meg, and he goes to the little tunnel riding and goes over the blob. It's all great. It's all really good. But I feel like the full effect for this movie is either watching it in a packed theater or watching it in your house, because in my house I have a DVD stereo system home theater set up for DVDs only though, so that's a little disappointing because of Blu-rays. I have to figure out to do a home theater system, but really, like, really you just have it on a Halloween night. You pack like maybe 20, 25, maybe 30 people in the living room, shit ton of people, or you pack a whole bunch of people into theater, and you just watch this movie and have everyone's reaction, everyone's thoughts at the same time. That's what this movie is. It's a great, I wouldn't say, not like a party film is like a shit film. This is a cloud. It's fucking late right now, but it's a crowd pleaser. It really is. It really is a stand-up, cheer, crowd-pleasing film. Like, that's the thing about The Fly and The Thing, is that, for me, personally, I love the endings that leave it up to ambiguous, like It Follows, The Thing. But the thing is about The Thing and The Fly, those two remakes are good movies, great films, but I love the ending to this one more, even though that does have that bullshit fucking sequel bait ending. I'm talking about just the real ending to the film is them blowing up the blob, them hugging. You know, it's a happy ending. You know, it's not really left up to imagination, except the little bullshit. But I don't really cut I don't really count it, but the story is resolved. You know, it's not the thing where okay, it might be one of them where great ending, love it, or The Fly where she kills him at the end and it just ends. I love how this ending gives a little bit more closure. I do enjoy the happy endings that give a little bit more closure. It's one of the big reasons I love the ending to The Faculty. It's because it's a really happy ending to a really fun movie. And so that's why I love like the ending to The Faculty, because it's a movie that gives you closure to your characters. It really does. It gives you closure to your characters, and it's fun. Oh, see, like this right here, it was not bad, but good makeup effects. I'll say good makeup effects. Just was it necessary in the film? No. Does it hurt the film? No. Does it make the film better? I don't think. Honestly, no. I don't think so. It would have been nice to see both kids survive. Yeah, I'm not gonna all survive, but am I fucking furious, fucking going all PC political correct over it? No, not really. This movie is really like a big haunted house of horrors, really showing off what visual effects. I love this here the thing here. It just opens up like it has a mouth. Okay, that's bullshit. She can get through, but it's cool though. No one's tripping over it. And the blob just looks disgusting. It just looks more and more disgusting. These three guys here, they're just shooting the fuck out of him. Not to shoot. Fucking run, Bill Mosley. No, I like how she does take command. She's like, "Do it now. You listen to me, you motherfucker." You have a good strong female lead, a good strong male lead. So it is. That's what you need. Most of the time in these horror movies, you have a strong female lead, and then the male lead's just like a fucking he's pretty much a fucking ditz. Which I feel like it's nice to have a movie where you have a strong lead, male lead, and a strong female lead. But I think it's a little bit more special when you get strong male leads, male characters, main characters. Like right here, it's nice when you get that because you don't get as much. Look, you look at how he looks back and he smiles a little bit. That's the thing. You don't really think about movies that actually have male leads and good male leads, not fucking fucking who care male leads. I mean, I'm talking about male leads that are memorable, throwing out one-liners. Great. Think about it. You have Kevin Dillon from the Blob. You have look how it's just so disgusting. You have Kevin Dillon from the Blob. You have Josh Hartnett from The Faculty. You have Bruce Campbell from Army of Darkness. You have William Gallo from Night of the Demons as Sal. Those are really only the male leads in horror movies that are actually, good and throwing one-liners and serviceable. Really the only ones in my mind, honestly. But that's my opinion. To each their own. If you think there are more, then Let me. If I look back at my collection, I mean, the leads in The Exorcist is really good, but fucking that's different. It's not really the fun lead. I mean, there's male leads in the Friday the 13th. I'd say fucking John Shepard is actually probably number 5. So those are probably. And John Shepard is the guy who plays Tommy Jarvis. He plays my favorite Tommy Jarvis. So I'd say it's probably those. Right here. I think we better go now. No shit. Fucking run. But I can't believe it. We're almost towards the end of the film. Some people on screen, if you guys are looking at the pretty much a screen of the original poster, a lot of people like River for Life. I know he didn't like the poster for the Twilight Time Blu-ray release. I like it. I actually like the Blu-ray. I actually like that. And then there's like the The DVD case, I like it. I just think it looks like a little bit of a Photoshop picture. I actually do really enjoy though the theatrical poster release. And I think it kind of gives away the Donovan Leitch Paul character death away. But to each their own. Oh, I was gonna look up. Let's look up how much the Blob VHS is. Blob 1988 VHS. They don't even have it on. Oh, they actually do. For like for fucking $3. They actually, ow, they actually very do. They do. So when I get a chance, I'm going to be picking up the VHS version so I can have a version of each one. Because the thing is, it's fun to watch movies. See, I don't have a VHS player though. I have to get a fucking VHS player because I have tons of VHS. Look at this. They have VHS players for fucking cheap. Mediasonic, Homeworks, 4-channel HDTV, digital converter box. No, what the fuck is this? That doesn't look like a fucking VHS player. Some VHS players. I really have to get them though. I really need to get myself a VHS player. Really need to get myself a VHS player though. Because I have a lot of VHSs. And a lot of VHS tapes are fucking cheap. You can find. I like this. This is a great scene here. Probably my favorite scene. It's a lie, all of it. Telling the whole town. I like how he's there pointing the gun at him. But then he believes him and he moves the gun. You see? And then now he's on his side and both the guns are pointed at them. Everybody just lower your weapons. I hear how he's just like a voodoo man waving his arms around and saying, "Oh, you'll spread it. This is our whole place." Really like that from Meadows. I like this here. It's like, shoot him. I'll tell you why. Some kind of germ warfare test. They fucked up. Oh, great. But I like how he redeems himself, and this death I thought was pretty good. Not as gruesome I think it should have been for this asshole, but pretty good. How it just shows him just getting sucked down into the fucking sewer. I like how the Colonel now she's like, fuck this guy. Let's just kill this motherfucker. So I like the Colonel here how he's just like, fuck this shit. We're just gonna kill this motherfucker. He just takes off. He's like, he knows this isn't a fucking thing. He's like, just blow this motherfucker up. Let's track that some bitch. We just fucking let it loose on it. Well, because he doesn't know what it is, he hasn't seen it before, so he's like, just shoot the fuck out of it. And, the Colonel, you only see him for a couple scenes, but it's just like, you kind of like him because he's like, oh, fuck this fucking containment shit. We're gonna fucking blow the fuck out of it. It doesn't work, but hey, at least they tried, He wasn't an asshole like Meadows. This guy's still smoking his fucking cigar. I forgot it's the black guy from the shop who was talking about the snow and having a little faith. He's in there smoking a cigar. But what I like about this end scene is you see everybody from the town helping, trying to keep the Blob out of the building, like the deputy. The deputy, you see him redeem himself, and he points the gun. So you have like the deputy, and you have the black guy from the auto repair shop, and you have Meg's. You have like Meg's parents, like they're all trying to keep the Blob out of the building, and she's helping them find. They're all fighting. So I like that at the end, how they're all coming together to defend it. Really good. That's probably the best line from the movie. I think you pissed it off. And he delivers the line really good. The Blob looks like really scaly. I don't know why, but it looks really cool here. I like how he pulls both the grenades out like he's trying. And I love how, like, it's so, like, it came down on shock, so, like, it hits all the earth so hard that it fucking caused, like, a mini earthquake. Oh, this shot here is just running. And it's just fucking pulling people in. Oh, okay, I see now. So it's not Jameson Newlander's character. I could tell now. And, okay, I'm not trying to get full religious here, but this guy's saying that this has all been prophesized. If you know anything about the Catholic or Christian religions at all, you will know that a blob-like creature is not foreseen as to bring the end of the world. It's not. So this priest, even if you're Catholic, Christian, Muslim, whatever you believe to bring the end of the world, this is not prophesied. So this guy going like that just makes you go, what? How is this prophesied? It makes no sense. Oh, this is a cool scene where he just goes. And the Blob is smart in this one. It makes sense. Oh, why would it fucking cover that? How would it know? Well, something's attacking it that's annoying it. If something's annoying you, you fucking hit it. What is your first reaction to a fly that's annoying you? You fucking hit it. You try to get rid of it. So, where does it go? It goes to the source of what's annoying it and just fucking tries to hit it, So it makes sense. But yeah, so that pastor is trying to clear up some people who are like, oh, fucking, there goes them fucking Catholics and Christians again. Fucking going on about the end of the world. But no, that's just trying to clear that up. But I love the fire extinguisher. See here, I love how these townspeople are getting together, to help fucking defend it here. Help defend, she's a strong character with the fire extinguisher, shooting it away, and she grabs the M16 later. She's like, yeah, fucking, come on, you can do better than that. I love the scene right here, you have our hero in the car with the music. And you just see him, like, he's totally ready to rock and roll. Like, see, they're all here trying to help keep this fucker out. Even the people in the hazmat suits are helping him, if you see. But I love the deputy. He does redeem himself. You do like how he redeems himself, but oh, his death. He gets pretty bad too. He just gets fucking snapped in half. It was good. I like how, there's these two fucking trying to keep it out. Oh, just fucking keep pulling him until he snaps in half. God. I just like this here. He ain't fucking around. Brought the snowmaker, bitch. Ooh. For this model, I was thinking, did they do a model like facing up, and then they just did like put that shit on so that it would spread out? That's all I'm thinking they had to do. Was they did a model hanging it face up, and then putting the Blob on it so it spread out. That's how I think they must have done it. I'm thinking, oh, what the fuck's happening? I like how she goes out there, She's like, Brian. She already let one boyfriend die tonight. She's not gonna let the other one die. Oh, you just see that poor guy on the ground. He's all dissolved and shit. Oh, the Blob's just looking so disgusting in this scene. Just so fucking disgusting. And I like how she saves him, and then at the end he saves her. And they both together help save the town. I like how she thinks, okay, to blow this fucker up and scare the gold, we got to. He's like, help me. You know, you gotta lead this fucker, attract him over. How do you do that? Okay, just lead him over, start shooting the motherfucker. I love how at first she tries to shoot the gun, she doesn't know how to work it. Oh shit, she's like, oh shit. It's a good end sequence, very good. Good scene, good scene. And I love how, she's not a fucking pinpoint accurate, she's just pulling the trigger and letting that bitch go loose. Just fucking flinging it all over the place. Love how she turns around and just goes, oh, just look at this, just disgusting. It's just like coming out of the, like, it's like, oh shit. He gets out, he helps her, they're running away. They blow that fucker up. Like Carl earlier, he's like, oh, that fucking flag kid, they're gonna grease him. I knew he's trouble. He's fucking punk and shit like that. Now, that motherfucker's pretty much gonna become your son-in-law. Well, if that goes down the line, but after this experience, definitely they're fucking together. But it's not forced here, you see? It's not a forced romantic, oh, I've only known you a couple hours. They hug because now they're friends. Their lives are changed forever. They're going to be friends forever now. They're just friends now. And maybe, like, at the end of the song. But after the scene, the movie should have just cut into Brave New Love. Because that's how it should have been. I love that line. What a rush. I like the score. I like them two hugging each other. They're not kissing. It's not fucking forced. It feels natural. Told you we'd get snow. I like that though. Pretty much they got it, and this is where the movie should have ended. Because the thing is, I wish they would have asked Chuck Russell. If I had to ask Chuck Russell just one question about the movie, just one. If I ever got to meet the guy, said, okay, ask me any question you want about the Blob from 1988. I'd say, okay, the ending with the film, with Del Close as the preacher, in there with the thing doing it, with the thing that he has the Blob. Was it a? Were you planning on making a sequel? Was it just there to, just in case it was a big success, that you guys could make a sequel, or was it just there, just as a little sequel, like, oh shit, type of ending? I want to know, like, did he plan a sequel? That's all I really want to know. Was a sequel planned, or if this movie was successful, would you did you make this ending because if it was successful, you would have came back and made a sequel with them too, with the Shawnee Smith and Kevin Dillon? That's all I wanted to ask him, and it's a shame that it's not in that he doesn't talk about it in the commentary, because I really want to know. I really want to ask him. That'd be the one question I'd ask him about the movie, because everything else is pretty much known from the commentary and everything else. Soon, the Lord will give me a sign. It just looks disgusting there. You just see the veins and stuff. I love this song. And that is The Blob from 1988. Pretty much the one of the best horror films of the 80s, one of the best monster movies of the 80s, one of the most memorable film from the 80s, and one of the most fun films, if not the most fun film from the 1980s. This song is great too. I couldn't find the song to buy it on iTunes. I don't know why they don't have it, or I don't know. I just don't know why. Because this song is fucking awesome. Love this song, but it should have ended with them hugging, looking at the blob, saying we're gonna take it away, and then it just cuts to here. It's just brave new love. It's pretty much this whole story of them two coming together. It's the start of a brave new love. You get a little hint here and there that they like each other, or like they think each other's like not cute, but they have good chemistry. You're like, okay, this is the start of a brave new love, and it's great. I mean, what more can I say about the movie? I've talked about the movie now for pretty much an hour and a half, a little going off the rails here and there about different things, but I did a 30-minute review of the film, and I did this now commentary of the film. So I'm all blobbed out. I don't know if I can talk about the movie anymore. Maybe when I revisit it with a friend, maybe because Donald has never seen the film. He's never seen it, so I don't know what. I don't know. It's just maybe if I was in, maybe if like, I don't. This probably never happened, but if the Sausage Factory was having a like a blob commentary, then maybe I could talk about it more. But I don't know what else I could say about this movie. It was absolutely fun. It's fun. It's fast paced. You have great characters. You have great visual effects. You have great dialogue. Great score, great songs. It's great. This movie was really good. It's definitely one of the more memorable films of the 1980s. The Blu-ray looks really good. I don't know how the Australian Blu-ray looks though. So don't get mad at me if don't get mad if you order this on Amazon and it's the Australian Blu-ray. That's all I'm saying. But if you guys seriously want to dip money into the Blob on Blu-ray, I suggest if you were a huge fan, get the Twilight Time Blu-ray. Get the Twilight Time Blu-ray. I mean, there's still a couple things, like, I think there's like 4 copies left that you can get the Twilight Time Blu-ray. Go to Amazon, pick it up. It's worth it. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I love the Blob. I absolutely love it. It is fun. It is so fun. It captures the 80s. It captures the small town. It captures the small town of the 1980s with the leather jackets, the mullets, the cheerleaders, the movies, the slasher era. It's one of those perfect horror films, and I expected to watch it around the Halloween season now, or maybe even on Halloween. Because on Halloween, I usually have a lot of people over, and I usually like to watch party films. Like last Halloween we watched Freddy vs. Jason and stuff like that. Fun movie. So this is a movie now that I think I'll be watching. And I also want to get on VHS so I can have it on all 3. Because I have the DVD, I have the Blu-ray, and I'm going to have the VHS. But the credits are coming to an end. Thank you for people who actually sat through all of this. If you did, that is absolutely fucking awesome. You guys are big fans. I know Rambo Afterlife did a commentary on this. I'm a big fan of him. I mean, thank you so much, Rambo for introducing me to this movie. It's back up to the title screen. But thank you so much, Rambo Afterlife, for introducing me to, if you ever see this, for introducing me to this film, to a lot of other movies that are great. I owe it to you. I owe it to to John Carpenter. I owe it to Wes Craven. I owe it to Steven Spielberg, Chuck Russell. I owe it to those guys who made me want to make films. But most of all, I have to give it to, my mom. She's the one who introduced me to most movies, and so thank you for watching, guys. I had a great time. It was fun to watch this movie again. For now, this is my fourth time. This was only my fourth time ever viewing it, and I absolutely love the movie. Absolutely love it. Thanks for sitting down with me, guys. If you watch it all the way through, if you guys watch it all the way through, that is awesome. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. This is the Groovy Podcast, episode 7. 5? Is it 5 or 6? I think it might be 6. Let me check real quick. Just let me check real quick before I go. Let me see. You guys have any questions about this film or any other films? It was actually fun. I think I might actually just, if Donald cannot do the podcasts, I might just do this then for my other podcast. Just rewatch movies, and then while I watch the movie, I just do a commentary on it. So whatever you guys want me to do next, I have. If it's something that's in my collection or something I could watch on Netflix, then I will sit down and I will watch it. So this is episode 5. Thank you for watching, guys. I had a fun time. Next Friday, I'll be back here doing another commentary, doing another episode of this podcast, where I will sit down and then talk about a movie. Next, maybe I'll continue with the Alien theme. Maybe I'll watch The Faculty. I haven't seen that. That's one of my all-time favorite horror films. But thanks for watching, guys. I had super, super fun time. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And yep, stay groovy.